Me too.
I leave on Friday. I fly to California. We stay there for 2-3 nights. And then on Monday, we fly to Hawaii.
Oh my gosh.
And then we're there for a week. And then I'm back in California for a week. So we're
Oh my
gone
gosh.
for 2 full weeks.
Wait, you're going back to California for a week? Wow.
Yeah. Well, we're saying we get there on Monday and we come home on Saturday so that
my
I can try to put my life back together. So.
Well,
Happy
yeah.
Monday. I'll be right back.
He's coming on and then he's like, okay, I'll be back. What is this?
I don't know.
So
yes, I'm saying
he's
all
going to the bathroom. For anybody who wants to go, that's the bathroom.
Disneyland resorts. All 3 of them.
That's awesome.
It's going to be crazy. But yeah, we're staying at Paradise Pier on the way out, and then Disneyland and Grand California on the way home.
I'm going to request lots of photos of the Halloween stuff.
We're doing the tea.
Oh, very exciting!
Night before Christmas tea. So
I need it for the Mouse for Les's.
Yeah, we will. We'll do lots of stuff. So. Yes, we're getting all our Disneyland and all our Aulani on.
I'm so excited that you'll get to finally go to Aulani too. Oh,
it was easy peasy to pack for Aulani because I'm like a bathing suit.
Yes.
Cover up.
Yes.
Bathing suit.
Yes.
Cover up.
Yes. That's it. That's all you need. Maybe some clothes to wear to the restaurant. That's it.
Kindle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, make sure you have that. Yeah.
I do have to load up my Kindle because this is the one time I actually get to read. So
that's nice. When I was on the cruise, I read 2 books.
The last cruise that Stephen Hannah and I took, that was a 7-night cruise. I had 5 books from the same author, read all of them.
I almost packed a 3rd book because I read the same author too. I almost packed all of them, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to get them all. And then I was like, oh man, I know,
it's so nice.
It was nice.
It's so nice. I don't get to often read for
pleasure. Yes, I know. I know, me too.
Hello, Facebook. Glad you're here on a Monday early evening. We're getting ready to do some podcasting, so stand by for that. Because for the Friday show, we're going to need your help here. So hang tight.
Yes.
Seriously, because Mike's trying to make us think right now on the fly.
I know. What's up with Mike making us think? Come on. Let's just be
all
honest.
restaurants, right, Mike? We're just doing dining.
Yes.
Got it.
Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Carol. I've been working for some of these ladies today. It's awesome.
Good.
I'm helping. Cruises, Magical Express, of course, splurging for Beach Club. You know who I'm talking
Nice.
to. Yeah, they're doing it right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Gotta love doing it right.
Anytime you can stay in Beach Club, Yacht Club, or Boardwalk, things are going good.
That's right.
What's better is when you have a vacation and then you stay an extra little bit to go to Beach Club. That's even better.
Oh, love that.
With your rocket. Ben, good job on the 26-2 run the other day.
We saw that, Ben. Great job. Great pace.
His pace was unreal. Oh my God.
Yeah. It was.
Unbelievable. I couldn't
He must be a youngin'.
I'm to go that fast for that long. I was like, whoo. Whoo.
Steve told me, and he was like, Ben's pace was awesome.
Yes.
That's what I said. I was like,
I always love
what?
By the way, Pam, I always love when I get random texts from Steve.
Oh my Lord. Did you see Steve Forrester made one of his very fewly seen Facebook posts? It's like his one for the year. He made it. And of course it was about beer.
Yes, it was.
Oh my gosh, Steven.
Brian's all in on that beer, by the way. He totally wants to come up and drink with Steve.
Oh, well, it is at our house in the fall, I will just say. It's always there.
I gotta put this one up on the screen. Look at this one from Rhonda Lee. Boom. I like that.
There you go. That's good. That's good.
I'll write it down, Rhonda. I'm writing it down.
All right. That's good.
Not right now. That might not go down for the whole 2 shows. So I don't know if our listeners know that Steve's actually in that commercial, that I Like Beer commercial for or I am.
Yeah, it's him and Chris Pratt. That one.
He's in the background. Look closely. He actually is an extra.
Oh my gosh.
Right? I know.
Okay,
Reggie gets to drink some interesting beers, though. That's for sure. He's always going to some craft beer location.
Oh, fun.
I know. Steve was trying to tell me that when I'm down there, we're going on the Symphony of the Sea cruise. And he tried to tell me it's sailing from Fort Lauderdale, or from Port Miami, but they're both kind of near each other. And he tried to tell me that we needed to stop at Cigar City in Tampa on the way, because that's on the way up. And I'm like,
of course, no.
it's actually over. Not that I wouldn't want to stop at Cigar City because they're an awesome brewery.
Right.
But I'm like, I don't think it's really on the same on the way up.
Not
There's your
really.
cat.
Yes, he says hello.
No fat.
He's
Your cat
very
should
fat.
be called Pumpkin.
His name is Opie after Opie Taylor because he's a redhead.
Yeah, but he really should be Pumpkin.
Hang on, I'm putting this on Mixler because I forgot Glenn asked it. He doesn't have Facebook anymore. I will put this on. 'Cause he's
Oh,
it is
that's
real-
exciting.
It takes like 10 clicks. It's loading. It's
he's
loading.
gonna sit down now. He says, "I'm gonna sit down and lay on you and be in the way." Yes, that's what. Yeah, that's. Hello.
On Mixler.
He
Here.
says hello.
Hello.
He's not even looking at the camera though.
No, he's looking at me.
He's like, why aren't you petting my head?
Exactly. Here, there you go. Oh, there you go. Oh,
This is what we do, people.
that's what we do. We are exciting people in the in the prime of our lives.
In the prime of our lives.
Um,
So,
Uh,
Mike, it took me about a day to get used to the swiping. I think I told you this last week. The first day, I'm like,
I know.
how the heck am I supposed to even open
No, I
this?
just keep
Now I can do it with one hand. I don't even.
there we go.
get a pop socket. It helps hold it in one hand.
No,
Yeah.
no. I had to do this. Okay, so look, my phone case.
Mm-hmm.
I can put up to 3 cards in it.
Nice. I like it. Don't show your credit card.
Well, no, this is my Disney pass.
Okay, all right, all right. That's
They're there, and that's all. Then that's all I have to carry. It has my
That's
ID,
handy.
my pass, and my credit card.
that's handy. Yeah.
Yep. So I can't give that up.
No.
I hear you.
Then
Okay.
I don't even have to carry a purse.
I'll pay for everything that I can.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I'd use it on my watch. It's done.
I
Okay.
know. I don't want to be like this.
It's not bad. It's not there. I love it. I love it when I like when you're at a hotel and they have them like the machines at the hotel, but you're paying like $2.50 for a bottle of soda. You almost feel like you're at Walt Disney World, but not quite. It's like $2.50. I'm in Missouri, man. You kidding me for a Coke? Ridiculous.
Oh, well, it doesn't cost $2.50 at Disney anymore for soda. Hey-oh.
Man, that's a 12 pack of Coke Zero.
I know, but people are a little riled about that. But I will tell you, I think it's still more at our local ballparks.
Yeah, probably.
The
at the ballpark.
sodas.
Like $6.
Oh, yeah, at the ballpark, yes. I would agree with that, yeah.
Like $6.
Yeah. Or like if you go to a fair, I'm sorry, have you been to a fair recently? The food there outrageous.
Yeah, food affairs, definitely. Yeah.
It's not that bad in Missouri. I don't think. We don't go to too many though. But anyway, all right, let's do this. Tracy's in the UK and it's getting to be bedtime. We got to rock. Here we
It's
go.
already bedtime for me.
Taco Bell time for me.
No!
I'm
Tonight's dinner for me is popcorn shrimp. Yeah.
kind of
It's easy to cook.
KFC has some golden honey hot something chicken that
Oh.
commercials.
Oh my gosh, he may go off of the Taco Bell train.
Because this is down the street, Taco Bell.
You know, I was gonna say a lot of them have Taco Bell / KFC's
do, I
in
know.
them.
It's a but one. It's a slasher. Like it's got the Taco Bell, KFC, like right down the middle, and I get
So
like
we don't have a Taco Bell. Like we have all kinds of different things, but we do not have a Taco
Oh
Bell.
my gosh,
What
we have a
do you
Taco Bell / Long John Silver's.
No,
which
we
is
just don't have one in our town. Like they
That's
have them in the area, but they don't have one in our
not in your town.
What do you
No,
have?
Anna says it's too bougie.
yeah,
We're too bougie.
what do you get if you get a craving for fast Mexican?
Chipotle.
Chipotle, yeah.
Yeah, they
Or
probably
we get real Mexican.
try to, but I can't. Every night. That's
Oh.
anyway. Let's do the questions. I got
a craving for fast food Mexican. That's very specific. If I get a craving for Mexican, it's real Mexican.
I do too, but you got to do what you got to do. Okay, here we go.
You could make Mexican food for cheaper half the time.
I don't have time. I just
Oh my!
okay.
You fry it. You make up some meat.
Fajitas are easy. Yeah, you like fajitas. Fajitas are easy.
Yeah.
Enchiladas are easy too. You can buy enchilada red sauce.
Yeah,
Yes.
killer enchiladas. They just take like an hour. You just got to plan. We don't plan very well.
No.
Anyway, let's go. Here we go.
Okay, let's actually do what we do.
The things that people learn now. Now Mike's hungry. Now we'll be like speeding through. Each show will be 22 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Okay, this is the third question, and that's it for today.
And that's it for the
That's
show.
it. Yeah. Okay. See you next week.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see. 1392. Welcome to episode 1392 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. So glad that you're here for more of your listener questions. Let me just tell you, if you don't tune in live on our Facebook page on Monday evenings around 5:30 and you get there a little bit early, you're missing out. I'm just telling you. You get to hear all the behind the scenes stuff of our dietary habits and all kinds of good stuff. So maybe it's good that you're just listening to the edited podcast. You're probably winning by doing that. So we've got some great questions for you today. We're going to have a good time. So joining me from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less, we have Ricky. What's up, Ricky?
Mike, you know what though? They can always go to our YouTube channel and they can watch the beginnings part of this because the whole thing goes up on YouTube. So if you want to see what we talked about for the first practically like 20 minutes we were talking, go to YouTube. It's entertaining. It's not Disney most of the time, but it mostly is Taco Bell. So
mostly what we're going to eat after we finish the shows.
That's right. Exactly.
And Opie the cat too makes an appearance.
And Opie, yes. Opie makes lots of appearances.
Right. And also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, packing those bags to head west for a couple of fun weeks. Pam Forster, what's going on?
I am like the countdown is on. I'm torn between all the stuff I have to get done and I need to be on vacation right now. So you know how that goes, right? The last few days are the longest days. So
yep.
Yeah, Mike can still come here for Give Kids the World Day. We have other options.
Yeah, Douglas is throwing in, there's Moe's. I've gone to Moe's. That's too much work. I just like to give them my order and I'll have to. I don't like customizing things. That's too tough. Anyway.
You are the only weirdo who doesn't like customizing things.
Supposedly you can order on the app and then just go pick it up. Pick what you want.
Yeah, I've done that many times.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, we're not here for Taco Bell talk. We're here to talk about Disney. And as I said at the top of the show, Sherry's got our first question. She says, "Hey, Mike and ladies, love all the helpful information to be gained from your podcast. I'm taking my family to the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party in November, the week before Thanksgiving, and would like to get a good spot for the parade. My youngest will be 4 at the time, and we just can't make it late enough for the less crowded second parade. I'm thinking about booking an ADR for Tony's Town Square starting 30 minutes before the parade begins in Frontierland." Well, that's a problem because Tony's Town Square is not in Frontierland. But let's keep going. "And requesting a room on the patio or a table, I guess. Do you think that will work since there will be so many people, or would there be too many people standing in front that would block our view anyway? I'm dreading having to stake out a good spot an hour before the parade time and making my 4, 6, and 8-year-old wait so long. Thanks, Sherry." All right, so let's talk about this. So she's trying to come up with a great way that the kids can see. Their only option apparently is the first parade, because I get it. You got a 4-year-old that is kind of late. You don't want to have I just can't imagine standing for like an hour with a 4, 6, and an 8-year-old saying, "Just stand here. We're just going to wait for the parade," because that could get hairy too. So Pam, what do you do in this kind of situation? Because the parade is awesome. You want to see the toy soldiers. You want to see the big man and all kinds of stuff.
So here's what we did when Hannah was little, and actually probably like the last time we were in Walt Disney World to try to keep her occupied while we wait for the parade. Just kidding. So we stake out a spot where we want to be. We tend to see it in Frontierland just because I feel like it's a little crowded there and you don't have to wait as long. But get to the spot you want to be. And this even works if you want to see it on Main Street. And don't eat prior to. Have you sit there in your spot and one of the adults goes and gets food at one of the locations and then brings it back to where we are. You've seen lots of people do this. Every time I see someone do it, I'm like, genius idea. But if you're sitting there in Frontierland, you can go right to Pecos Bill and get right there and have a spot to eat. I realize, it's a little discombobulated for one person to carry all that stuff for a family, but they have trays there. You can have, you can even, not include your drinks right there and get them, the kind, if you're drinking soda that has a screw-on cap or a water bottle that has a screw-on cap, those make things a little easier. But that's something that you can do. Also, I know the later parade is challenging for little ones to stay up and see. sometimes you have to play it by ear, though. Sometimes they're really like, it's like going on parade time and they're still doing okay with that. So consider that. The other thing to note is that spot in Tony. So they were actually selling a parade package for that. Now, this was for the afternoon parades. And I heard some feedback that it wasn't such a great spot for that. So I don't know if that's something that you really want to consider for that. I think that the holiday parades are, I think they're much better, and I think that they're really worth spending the time to see. I know, sorry, not the news you want to hear. Is there any way you can make it for the later parade? I'm just saying. So,
yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, I get it. And you do want to see the parade. I mean, you do not want to go to the Halloween or the Christmas parties without seeing the parade. That's what you're paying for, that, the fireworks and the other experiences, but the parade is at the top of the list. I like that idea of bringing the food to the kids. Also, we've talked about this in the past. Many of our listeners have suggested things like this where, go to Target, go to the dollar spot, get little activities and maybe glow sticks or glow necklaces and just distract them. Keep throwing the cheap stuff. I mean, I hate to say that about kids, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do in this kind of situation. Give them a little activity book, some little trinket. If you spend $10, it's $10 well spent. And, like you said, Casey's would be another option. You can just grab some dogs. Those are easy to carry, even though it's a little bit further away. You can get those, and it's not probably as hard to get as Pecos Bills. Some of the stuff might be, hot dogs are pretty transportable. I don't know, Ricky, any other final thoughts for this to get Sherry, keep her sane and everybody has that way by the time the toy soldiers come by, everybody's still in the Christmas spirit. Nobody's
You can pull the Santa's watching.
That's right. Yes.
Number one tip.
I agree with Pam. I don't think I would do Tony's Town Square for the parade, because if you did ask to be seated out there on the patio, there is not a guarantee that you will get that seating, especially because I bet a lot of other people who would have gotten there earlier will be lingering. So the chances of you getting that spot are, not as high. It's not a very big patio either. So just keep that in mind too. So that's why I think Pam has the right suggestion of maybe going to Frontierland, grabbing some food at Pecos Bills, or, even if you wanted to do Columbia Harbor House and then walk it over, it's not as far away. And then, watching it from there, because I think that it's going to be a much better experience for the whole family than trying to, maybe get a spot at Tony's Town Square that you're not guaranteed to have a spot for the parade.
All right, let's get to the next question. It is from Julie. She's up in Portland, Oregon. Hi, Mike, Pam, and Ricky. This one is Kennedy Space Center prior to a Disney cruise. My family's doing a Disney cruise on the Fantasy in March, and we're arriving 2 days prior to the cruise so we can enjoy a bit of Walt Disney World. We'll be staying at Port Orleans Riverside. We are also interested in visiting the Kennedy Space Center and plan to rent a car to go check it out. Have any of you been to Kennedy Space Center? Do you have any advice on how long we should plan to spend there? Ideally, I would like to visit there during the day and then go to Hollywood Studios in the late afternoon, as we haven't been to Walt Disney World in 2 years and want to see Toy Story Land. Does that sound feasible? Thanks for any advice. Love listening to the podcast. Julie. All right. So I've been to Kennedy Space Center a few times. Not in the past 4 or 5. Well, not since they brought in Atlantis, which from what I've been told, and Jay is, he's the man. He's a local down there. He's a space nut just like I am. He's a pilot, and he's been many times. And the feedback I've gotten from Jay and his mom, Joanne, who's also equally a space nut. We did a big NASA tweet up in Houston one time. We all sat in Mission Control. It was awesome. I love those pictures of that day. I drove all the way to Houston and back for a 18-hour experience. It was incredible, but it was just awesome sitting in Mission Control. But one of the things I will say that I've talked to both of them about, I'm talking about the Atlantis exhibit, where you can go visit the orbiter Atlantis, the space shuttle Atlantis. And what I've heard from both of them is that it is on par with a Disney experience as far as they tell the story. You don't just walk in a room and see the orbiter there that flew millions of miles in space and it just orbited the Earth so many times. There's a story. There's a movie. They say people cry because it's so powerful just to see that exhibit. Now, of course, there's lots of other parts of Kennedy Space Center. You can go on tours of the pads. They'll take you in buses and stuff. So really, Kennedy Space Center can be a multi-day experience, at least a very full day experience. But I think the thing is, you're going on a Disney cruise. You're coming all the way across the country. You're a Walt Disney World fan. I think you could totally make it just a 4 or 5 hour experience. I don't know that you would do Atlantis. Maybe that's all you do, but I think you could cut it that way, because I think what happens is, and Ricky, maybe you'll agree with me, that when you go to, when you're from far away and you go to Central Florida to go to Walt Disney World, and we used to go to Cocoa Beach every year. That was part of like growing up. As part of the trip. We take a day in the middle of our trip, go to Cocoa Beach. But after a few hours, I'm like, oh, I'm missing Walt Disney World. I'm missing something. I should get back there. I only have so much time. So I think she could totally do maybe 4 or 5 hours and then, head back. I think that'd be a good plan. There's plenty to do, though.
That's kind of what I was looking at. If they got there at 9:00, which is when Kennedy Space Center opens, and spent a good few hours there, I think that they would be able to see a lot of what they have. I haven't been to Kennedy Space Center since I was a kid. My mom actually gave me some pictures that I need to scan in that I took when we went on our trip to Kennedy Space Center. So it's from my point of view of being there as what I think it was like an 8-year-old or something like that, something really young. So it's been a very long time since I've been there. So but knowing kind of these museum exhibity type places, I think that if you get there when it opens at 9:00 in the morning, you can probably spend a good, 4, 5, 6 hours there, and then maybe, head back. They do close at 6 p.m. It looks like as of right now. So, if you left, all things considered, if you left at 6 p.m., it does take about an hour to get over there.
It's about, it says 45 minutes, but ideally it's like an hour. I mean,
yeah. So just keep that in mind. So if you left there at 6 and then went back to Walt Disney World, you wouldn't get there till like 7 if you stayed till the very end. So I guess it kind of depends, and maybe you should play it by ear a little bit to see how things go that day, to see if your kids, or if you really get excited about the exhibits and stuff like that and really want to, soak them in a little bit more, then maybe, hang out there a little longer and forego, Hollywood Studios. I know that's a weird thing for me to say, but if that's something that you guys are into, I would definitely stay and stick around and make sure you're soaking up all of the exhibits, so that way you're really seeing what you've paid for already at that point.
Yeah, because I mean, I think a lot of people think Kennedy Space Center might be like $5 to get in. It's not. I mean, it's like a museum experience. You're paying a bit, pretty decent price to get in for the day, but it's
let me see. I'll see if I can find out how much it is.
It's it's one of those things in the chat. Craig saying it's 45 minutes. He was just Coco last week. So Pam, any other thoughts for trying to, because it is tough, you're in Central Florida from all the way on the other side of the country. You want to see more than just Disney sometimes. What do you, I know you don't do this very often, but I mean, you've had experience with folks that do this. What's your best advice on this?
Yeah, I think your advice is spot on. It's challenging. There are really so many great things to see in that area. We have so many people who not only want to do Disney, but also want to do Universal, and and Kennedy Space Center is something else that a lot of people like to do too. And I think the one thing that we get so often from people who visit Kennedy Space Center is they wish they would have had more time.
Yes.
To explore it. So that's something just to keep in mind with your planning. Things you're probably going to want a little more time there, but it's such a great place with so much history in it, and it's so interesting. Just had watched Apollo 13 not too long ago. Actually, it was on TV and I caught it, and it's one of those movies that once you catch like 2 minutes of it, you're like, I gotta stay and watch.
Exactly. You get that one. It's like you flip it through like, oh dude, my next 2 hours are booked.
I know, right? So anyways, but just so much interesting history there. So go and enjoy.
Mm-hmm. And just so you know, it's as of this moment right now, it's $57 for adults and $47 for children. You can save $5 if you purchase your tickets before your visit. So, but that's still not chump change, per person. That's not chump change at all. So I would absolutely make sure that you got your money's worth by spending as much time as you possibly could there. So.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. He came up with it.
Yeah, he came up with it just as I got it. So good job, Craig.
Of course, we love that. Love our listeners. But I will say, and I've always said this about NASA and about Disney. I think they tend to kind of like in a Venn diagram, NASA fans and Disney fans tend to land in that center section that's in both circles. Because
get it?
think about it.
No. Get it?
Think about it though. I mean, it took such imagination to get man to the moon and to do what NASA does. NASA's real life. I mean, but in Disney's fantasy, but they're both about imagining what isn't and making it into reality. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of common there, but it's.
I mean, just think about how Walt was so on the forefront of all of that, with Tomorrowland. So, I mean, yeah, they go together like kind of like peanut butter and jelly.
Oh man, now I want peanut butter and jelly.
Now you want peanut butter and jelly. Good. I made him stop wanting Taco Bell. Good for me.
Can somebody get me an Uncrustable? Okay. Next email says late Ohana ADR is HEA feasible. It's from Megan. Hey guys, love the pod. As my Disney trips get closer and closer, about a month away now, I'm listening even more obsessively. Be careful. I consider myself somewhat of an expert when it comes to all things Walt Disney World. However, no matter how much I check for a new reservation time, I seem to be stuck with my $9.50 Ohana dinner. I gotta say this about the $9.50 Ohana ADR. Like that thing, I don't know. Do they? I have this like vision in my head that at $9.50 that place grows like 7 wings, because that one is always available. I know it's available because it's so late, but it's like $9.50. Like the restaurant gets 5 times bigger. I don't know. Like they open it up. I've always noticed like $9.45. Nope, $9.50. You can always get it. Crazy.
Yeah.
There are 9 of us, so I figure that with that large of a party, I'm stuck with my $9.50 ADR. My question is, do you think we could watch Happily Ever After and then dash to the Polynesian for dinner? Or would that be cutting it too close? My gut tells me the latter, but wanted to get some other opinions. Thanks. Megan is in Music City, which I believe is Nashville. So 9, they got to be there ready to eat at night. I'll tell you what, if you do it, you'll be working up a good appetite for the Ohana. That's man, what would you do? It also depends on the time. Well, they're going, what'd she say? They're going in about a month.
I'm guessing that the fireworks are at 9.
I'm pulling it up. That's what I'm pulling up now, actually.
All right.
So let me do that while you talk.
Assuming that they're at 9, if you watch them not from the hub, but from back toward this train station, like maybe you can get near the Emporium, that entrance there, and kind of watch from there. So you're watching right up Main Street, and then as soon as it's done, you tell your family, no clapping. No reflecting on this.
No no enjoying it.
We must go.
We are done. We are done with fireworks. We have to go get our. No, you shouldn't be quite that bad. But the fireworks just take about 20 minutes.
It does.
And it can be challenging to travel during that time. But if you're ahead of it, if you're right there by the train station and you kind of move your way out and then assess, you have to assess. Is the monorail going to be quicker or is the boat going to be quicker?
Yeah.
Look, the monorail is most of the time, unless the monorail line is humongous and there's a couple boats right there. So consider both of those. The other thing I'll throw in there is you can also take a boat to the Grand Floridian area too, which the boat usually goes from the Polynesian to the Grand Floridian when you're leaving the boat dock. But at times when it's really busy, it'll only go to one. So figure out everything that's going on there. Take all those things into consideration, and you should still be able to make it at 9.
And yes, it is at 9:00. But let me warn you, do not be late to that 9:50 reservation.
Right.
As someone who has been late to the last reservation and had asked to be seated, don't do it. I've done it. You feel like a terrible person when you do that. So
it is.
Yeah, you could also watch them from, like Craig is saying, you can watch them from the Poly Beach too. That way you're already there, which is
not the same though.
I know it's not the same. You know, if you cut out like the last like minute, because you can tell when the show's about to end. So if you cut out like that last minute,
Ricky.
I know. I'm sorry.
They're bringing it all home in the last.
They put off as many fireworks in those last minute that they do the whole rest of the.
I'm just trying to help them beat the traffic out of there, but you did
take my advice. No reflecting. No. Do not clap. Nothing.
No.
Turn around and run.
I hate to say it. Don't do it. Just go to the Polynesian and have your meal. I mean, you're winning by having Ohana. That's awesome. I mean, it's just, I know you want to see that Ever After. I would just watch the fireworks from the Polynesian beach, grab a drink or something.
Come on, Mike, live dangerously.
That's right.
Too much, because here's the thing. You just get caught at the Magic Kingdom. There's no good way to quickly get from the.
If you're at the train station, you leave right there.
Even if that boat's waiting, it seems like it takes forever. I'm just saying, like, it's a tough one. You're going to be sweating it out the whole time during Happily Ever After. How are you going to enjoy it? You're going to be just dripping.
I'll enjoy it.
the place is going to close. Like, no, you're going to be miserable. Don't do it. Let's go see it a different time. All right, Lauren's got the next question. It says,
Don't listen to Mike.
Give Kids the World and Hurricane Florence. Hi, BOGP crew. I wanted to thank you for several reasons. I've been listening to the show for a while now and love learning new things and reliving past trips through other listeners. I even jot things down in my Disney Ideas note on my phone. Who knew you had note takers out there? I love that, Laura. That's awesome. I love it. We were in Disney in September and had the opportunity to volunteer at Give Kids the World. After learning about it on your show, I was so excited to actually be there and experience what an uplifting, happy place it is. My dad and I worked in the cafe. My mom was at the concierge desk, and my husband drove the shuttle. It was awesome. It was a slower week for them, but that was okay because we got to spend an extra one-on-one time with each family we met. It was such a special part of our vacation. Not related to Disney, but I have a quick shout out to Missouri. I live in Wilmington, North Carolina, and our town was one that was hit hard by Hurricane Florence. There is an amazing disaster relief organization called Convoy of Hope based out of Springfield. They drove into the storm with truckloads full of supplies and a crew that was ready to serve. They've been here for several weeks now distributing supplies to the Carolinas and helping with home repairs, and we cannot be more thankful. We appreciate the prayers and thoughts from the BOGP family and for all the ways the show brings people together. Thanks for all you guys do, Lauren in Wilmington. So that's, it's just, that was so nice of Lauren to reach out and share that experience about Give Kids the World. And I'm glad the Missouri folks are helping us down in Carolinas. But Pam, that's special to me. That really is, because that's people giving their time when they could be at Walt Disney World or doing, vacation stuff, and they're helping ease the pain of others. I love hearing this.
I agree. I mean, that's the great thing about Give Kids of the World is they not only offer you opportunities to make donations that help make all this possible, but they actually, so much of their workforce, it's like 95% are volunteers. Mm-hmm. That's why they're able to keep costs low with Give Kids the World. That's something to think about. That's why when you look on all those charity rating organizations, Give Kids the World is always at the top because their overhead is so low. And it has to do with people who are willing to not only donate, but also volunteer. And I think that's just such an awesome thing to do, especially on vacation.
Absolutely. And now we have Hurricane Michael making landfall in the Panhandle. So don't blame me just because my name's Mike. It's and it's going to be a big one, but hopefully this one is going to be like Florence, where it's supposed to move quickly. I think it's going to come towards Atlanta in the end, Ricky. So
probably that seems about right. Yeah.
So hang in there, Panhandle and Alabama and Mississippi and all that down there. All right, next question's about Magical Express. It's from Donna. Hi, BOGP crew. Headed to the world on November 7th for a 3-night stay at Pop Century, then heading out on the Fantasy for a 7-night holiday on the High Seas cruise. You are winning, Donna. You are winning. We are looking forward to checking out the new rooms at one of our old favorites. The cruise will get us to gold level. Hey, yes. Rick, this is like you. You guys are like,
I know. We are.
Since we don't have any kids, non-Disney folks just don't get it, but I know you guys do. My question for the team, if we decide, she's really a sister of yours.
She really is like a sister. I love it.
Are you guys related? And her name's Donna, like your mom.
That's weird. Yeah, I love it.
Your mom with a suit. If we decide to Uber from MCO to Hollywood Studios due to a late afternoon flight, will my tagged Magical Express luggage still get picked up from MCO if we don't actually scan onto the bus? We want to hit Toy Story Land that night since we only have a few park days on this trip. We land at 5 p.m. Thanks for your solid advice and great tips. Appreciating you guys from Vermont. Too many miles from the world is from Donna and Dan. They're called the Disney Brownies. Oh, because their last name. Okay, I get it now.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
It's like maybe they're like they go down and they blog about Disney desserts or something. I don't know. Everybody's got a thing nowadays. I'm trying to always connect the dots. All right, so Pam, how's that work with Magical Express? They want to take Uber, but what about the bags?
Yeah, the official word is absolutely not. Your bags will not be transported unless you scan in and are going there. I know that you'll always find exceptions to that rule, and people will say, oh, it worked for me. It worked for me like 4 years ago when I did this or whatever. But the reports I've been hearing lately is it is not working. If you're not scanning your band to get on that bus, that's what it's designed for. And I think it's also like a safety issue as well. They want to make sure, whatever's going on behind the scenes there with that. So, So your choices are, how about this? You could pick up your bags, Uber with your bags to your resort, and then Uber from your resort over to Hollywood Studios. I don't know that it's really gonna cost that much more time. And you know what you'll be able to do when you're there? You'll be able to check in person and make sure that your tickets are linked right, and make sure that everything else, your charging privileges are set up correctly, and they look at everything like that too. I think it might take probably like 10 or 15 more minutes, maybe, if you did it that way. But I think it will also offer you a lot of peace of mind in that space too. So
agreed. All right, next question. Listener question. Cheapest memory maker option for Wine and Dine Half Marathon, which is coming up next month, guys. You better be running those miles. It's from Ben. Hey, Mike, Pam, and Ricky. My wife and I are running the Wine and Dine Half Marathon this November. I'm trying to figure out the cheapest way to get our photos from the race. We are silver annual pass holders, which does not include Memory Maker. I was wondering if we upgraded to gold annual passes before the race, if that would give us access to our race photos. How does Disney charge for upgrading annual passes? Do they prorate it's hard to say. Do they prorate the cost? Our silver passes don't expire till next March. I know I'm being super cheap now, but if I just upgraded one of our passes to gold, will we both get access to our race photos? Love the show. Thanks for all your help booking our Disney cruise. We had a blast. The Castaway Key 5K was an awesome bonus. Thanks, Ben. All right, Ben. So I get it. And you know what? I will say this. Let me just say this. The first time I ran the Walt Disney World Marathon, of course, first time I ran a full marathon, I was buying the pictures, man. Those things were like, if I recall, I want to say I spent like $250 for my pictures. I am not kidding. They were not cheap. That was just for the pictures from Marathon Weekend, like for 4 races. It was like $250. Ridiculous. So if you're a runner, I'm telling you, Memory Maker is just a no-brainer because you get great shots. I mean, so many shots. You don't have to think about it. It's I love having that. So Ricky, I don't know about the pro rating, and because I only get what's my annual pass? It's just a regular one, the gold. I guess that's what it's called.
No, you have the Premier.
I get the one without the water. So that's all I know.
Yeah. The gold and the silver and all that is for Florida residents. And I'm not well versed on the Florida resident annual pass that much since I don't have one. Maybe someday. So I don't know 100% on the annual pass holder benefits for the gold members versus the silver members. You can, if you have the booklet of information that they gave you, why would you still hang on to that? But you might have look at that, see if that has the differences between the passes. Or you could give Disney a quick call and say, hey, I'm thinking about upgrading my annual pass to this level. Does this level, what are the benefits that this level offers that the other one doesn't? Because I'm not 100% sure if the gold level will even offer the photo pass photos, although something tells me that it might. So, and if it does, then yeah, you only really technically would need to upgrade one of the passes. So that's kind of nice too. You'll be able to get the photos for both of you. So
yep, you just need one. I know that, and I believe Disney does prorate things like this too.
Yeah,
I think that's true.
I think
as far as what I know. All right, let's get to the next question. Will the Force be with us? It's from Jessica. Hey, Mike, Pam, and Ricky. I have a question for you. My husband and I are going down to Walt Disney World for the Wine and Dine race weekend in just 30 days. Yay! On that Saturday of that weekend, we'll be at Hollywood Studios after the 10K, and we have reservations at Trattoria Al Forno at 6:35 p.m. to celebrate my husband's birthday. Do you think it's possible for us to make it back to Hollywood Studios for the Star Wars fireworks at 8:30? What's up with you people? It's like the same question. It's just a different fireworks show in a different restaurant. Okay, let's get back to the email. I read these like when I drop them into the thing, but I don't give them much thought. So I didn't even know I was pulling this one. Okay, so they're trying to get back to the Star Wars fireworks by 8:30. They're eating at 6:35 at Trattoria Al Forno. My husband's a huge Star Wars fan, but I do have to be up bright and early, for the half marathon the following morning. Any thoughts? Thanks, guys. Your show makes my early morning miles fly by. She's up in Chicago, 484 miles from Pam, and 1,187 miles from Pop Century. All right, Jessica, this is awesome. So, Pam, well, this one's kind of the reverse, though. The fireworks are like on the dessert end of the experience, and the meals at 6:35, it's the appetizer. So, do they have time to reflect on their meal at Trattoria Al Forno before they go try to catch the fireworks? I think they could actually make this one happen.
Yeah, I think so too. Absolutely. If you're traveling from the boardwalk to Hollywood Studios, the boat is never the quickest way. It is always the path. The walking path is always faster, unless you're really, really tired. And then sometimes.
Well, she's trying to save her legs. She's run a half marathon the other day, but at this point, just
That's
turn
true.
an extra leg of a challenge. You just run. It's
Right.
like a mile. Go.
I don't think you'll have to run. You'll walk quickly. If you want to speed that up a little bit, but do want to take advantage of some of the boat stuff, you could actually walk over to the boardwalk dock and pick up, the boat there.
It is the
Or
boardwalk.
the
It
Swan
would be
and-
the boardwalk.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're at the boardwalk or the Swan
Yeah.
and Dolphin. So think about that one too. But yeah, walking over will actually get you there, faster than the boat. And I know you want to save your legs, but I don't think there's much you can do about that. But yeah, I think you'll be able to do this one. I really do.
Mike, when did she say she was going?
6:35 is the ADR Trattoria.
No. What's the date? She said it's for Wine and Dine, right?
It's the day of the 10K, the night before the half marathon. So
Oh, for the actual half marathon, not wine. Wait, is it Wine and Dine or not?
yeah, Wine and Dine half marathon. It's the night before the half, which would be on Sunday.
Okay, let me look up something really
Like the
quickly.
fireworks are at 8:30. Did she?
Oh,
not-
okay, good. I
Yeah.
forgot that they changed the date of Wine and Dine, so I was like, I don't know that they're going to see the Star Wars fireworks, but they are, so that's better. Okay.
Now you're really scaring people. I love that.
I know. It's 8. It is at 8:30 though. So if they eat fast, if they tell them, hey, we're trying to get out to see the fireworks, can we have our check ASAP? That kind of thing. They'll more than likely be fine. Yeah.
Because they want you to get out of there. Honestly, I mean, if you tell them up
That's
front
true.
you're trying to make some things happen, they're going to bring stuff out quick. I've learned that, especially with kids,
Yeah.
even though you don't have kids. But that'll be fun. Yeah, you can totally make it. And the thing is, like, you're worried about getting to bed, or it's not good. You don't sleep anyway the night before a half marathon. Get somebody down. You sit there like,
That's true.
I'm gonna miss my alarm. I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna oversleep. Just forget it. I've learned that a long time ago. All right, next question is called. It just says, "Is it worth it?"
Oh.
What do you think, Pam? No, here we go. Let's get a little background. It's from
I need
Ashley.
a little more information.
Exactly.
That's
You're
right.
but not that good. Hey, the OTP crew. My family and I are now less than 2 months away from our first Disney World vacation. ADRs are made. Fast passes were made this week. We're at the point where everything is just about planned. And then a friend of ours suggested we make a change. And she put the emoji guy that looks like this. If you're watching on the live video feed,
Oh no.
got the hands on the cheeks with the big eyes. Okay, there you go. The change would be to drop our current dinner reservation at Akershus and replace it with a candlelight processional dining package. There are a couple restaurants open for that day, but we're leaning towards dinner at La Hacienda de San Angel based on the menus. Here are a few more factors. We're a family of 5. Kids are 9, 7, and 4. The 4-year-old loves princesses, and that was pretty much the main reason we had chosen Akershus. Akershus doesn't have CP availability during the day. We tried to call to add it to our existing reservation, but they said that isn't possible, which is right. We all really enjoy plays, musicals, etc., and we love the nativity story, so sitting still wouldn't be an issue. The date is the last Friday of November. We aren't willing to stand in line for 2+ hours to see the show, though, so it seems as if it's either get the dining package or don't see it. According to our friend, the candlelight processional is not something to miss and is totally worth the 2 dining credits we'll be using to see it. But I'm not sure, and I would love to know what you guys think. Thanks for all you do. Love the podcast. Ashley's in Ohio. This is a real tricky wicket here, as they say over in England. This is a tough one. Pam, what's your gut telling you? Do they get rid of Akershus and go to La Hacienda to make it part of the dining package for Candlelight Processional? Because I'm with her. Candlelight Processional is amazing. It's one of the best things Walt Disney World does during the holidays.
It is. I agree. And I'll also tell you before I start this whole thing is there are many times where we have not waited hours for this. We did not have good seats. In fact, we didn't have any seats at all. We walked up and kind of stood behind the theater and have seen Candlelight Processional many times. The other thing that we've done, if seeing it isn't very important to you, is sometimes we sit back on the fountain there in America. You still really can hear it. And that's the beauty of it, that you can do it. Now, I absolutely understand wanting to be able to see it, wanting to be able to see it in a dinner package so you have good seats and you really appreciate it. If this is not something that tugs at your heartstrings and makes you tear up a little bit, I don't know. There are certain parts in that. First of all, the singing's beautiful. The music's awesome. the telling of the tale, whoever the narrator is fantastic. And there are certain parts of that are just so overwhelmingly beautiful that it is definitely tier worthy. So it's an awesome show. It really is. It's one of my favorite things that they do at Walt Disney World during the holidays. So I'm going to say, having said all that, yes, if I have not experienced it as often as I have and could just be okay with rolling up and seeing whatever view I could see, I would go ahead and choose one of the packages. At La Hacienda, they have a lot of good choices there. And you said you already looked at the menu, so you know what to think of that. We've had great food there. They have good drinks, and it's a cool atmosphere. I like it better than the restaurant that is indoor. So consider that as well. At San Angelin, of course, inside the Mexico attraction. This is, of course, on the other side, and it looks out over the lagoon there, and it has a beautiful view. But then you know that you're going to have a decent seat for this, and I do feel it's worth it if you have not seen it a number of times. So, and it sounds like it's important to you. So, and it sounds like what your friends want to do too. So, I mean, all these things are forming into that for me.
So go ahead, Ricky. I vote also go for the candlelight processional.
I think I vote for the candlelight processional, and I'm gonna say, I know you have your reservations done and everything like that, but I would consider, if you still want to see the princesses, which I absolutely understand why you would still want to see the princesses. Hello, there's a 4-year-old little girl that's involved with all this. Make a breakfast reservation for Trattoria Al Forno. You would get to meet Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, as well as Ariel and Prince Eric. I think that that is a wonderful idea. Or if you really wanted to have a dinner, maybe consider making a reservation for 1900 Park Fair over at the Grand Floridian. And that one has Cinderella, the Evil Stepsisters, and Prince Charming and everything like that. So that's another option where you're still getting to see the princesses, but, you know, you still get to see Candlelight Processional. I think that's, you know, that would be my suggestion, is to see Candlelight Processional and then maybe try to make that breakfast reservation for Trattoria Al Forno. Also, don't give up, you know, because you never know. 30 days out, you know, people cancel all the time. The day before, people cancel all the time. So, yeah, I mean, don't give up necessarily, but yeah, I would definitely, that's what I would do to plan it.
You just got way too close to Friday's podcast with your answer there. So
I know I did.
On Friday. But yeah, I will say, you know, and I've said this over the years, I don't think I've ever sat down for Candlelight Processional. I never have. I haven't sat down. I've seen it a few times when I've been down there for like Mouse Fest back in the day, and just times we had things going on during the holiday season. And I'll tell you what, that thing is just as moving standing back by the fountains at American Adventure. I mean, just the story, the music, you can still see it. Not, of course, it's not the, you know, what you're going to see on the planning video. You know, you're not front and center and all that, but man, that story being told and just the music, it's wonderful. Don't miss it. It's your first time to Walt Disney World too. This might be one of the things you talk about 10 years from now. So I wouldn't miss it. All right. So here, the last question of the day. Here we go, because I like the title. Last minute trip, need food suggestions, parentheses, not Taco Bell.
Yes.
It's from Rachel. She says, Jumbo, I just booked a last minute trip to Disney World from October 14th to the 18th for my fall break, and I need some suggestions for snacks and quick service dining. Usually my trips are jam-packed with fast passes and park hopping, but this trip is all about getting out of Nebraska, maybe because your football team's winless. I shouldn't have said that. Wow. And relaxing for a few days in my happy place. They used to be a rival. I will be staying off-site with a friend at her home, but I will have a rental car so I can get around easily. We're doing Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party on Tuesday the 16th, and as of right now, that's the only time I have planned to visit any of the parks. What I would like to do is to visit some of the resorts in Disney Springs and leisurely stroll around and eat. I would love some dining recommendations for your favorite quick service or snack options at the different resorts, and maybe some of your favorite free things to do. I've never been to Port Orleans, so I know for sure that I'm going to go there and grab some coffee and beignets one of the days.
Yes.
I was thinking of checking out the boardwalk because, gasp, I've never actually been. What are some of your favorite snacks over there? Thanks for any recommendations you can provide. I love listening to this podcast because it brings the magic every day to my grad school and work-filled life. Whew, hang in there, Rachel, if you're doing grad school and working. And, hey, if you're still, doing all that, Taco Bell's not a bad option. I'm just saying. Ding. Okay. So
No, there's no dinging for Taco Bell.
Always.
No.
Okay, so anyway, Port Orleans, you can definitely do that because the thing is, it's a combo with the Disney Springs thing. You catch a boat, go to Disney Springs, and do Port Orleans, French Quarter, and Riverside. Don't discount Riverside. Riverside's got some good food over there too. I would go to French Quarter. I think they have more imaginative. Like for breakfast, they have that chicken biscuit that's awesome. Beignets.
Oh yes.
Coffee, I think, it's the same everywhere. But yeah, do that. And so suggestions. You're looking for snacks and quick service, Pam. Disney Springs and the resort. What about the new restaurant over at or just exploring Caribbean Beach too? She has a car.
Why are you taking my answers?
That's actually just what I was going to say because it's a great location. I love some of the dining locations that they have talked about lately at Caribbean Beach. I think they're really imaginative ideas that there's something off the beaten path. It really,
they have bowls. Just like they have bowls just like they do at Satilia Canteen. So that sounds like a winning thing.
Yes, it does. I mean, it just seems like there's going to be some interesting locations there. So I would absolutely go there. Both the quick service and the table service both look really good. So Sebastian's Bistro is the table service location, and it looks so pretty. And then the Centertown Market also looks really, really good. So check out both of those and see what's there. Plus, then you also have, the pool bar, which is available at Caribbean Beach. And that's always been something that has been a good location, but they look like they're sort of stepping up their game too, to match all the new stuff. So that's something that you're really going to want to consider. I just want to the Centertown Market they're calling them farm to table kind of entrees, the salads. They have some really interesting looking salads, but then they also have some interesting looking sandwiches like Caribbean Taco Trio. And it has, pickled vegetable sauce, cilantro lime crema, cojita cheese. And you get to choose the protein that you're putting in there. So that's really cool. And they also have, island eggless sandwich, which sound interesting. Just lots of good sounding stuff there. So go ahead and check that out. The other thing is when you have the opportunity to go ahead and be at Disney Springs, there are so many things to choose from there. It's really even hard to narrow it down. We've mentioned, of course, in the past, Jock Lindsay's, which is a great place, not only to grab a drink, but also a good place to grab sort of a quick meal. They have little appetizers, but they have sandwiches and stuff like that. So don't discount places like that. There's great, though, truly quick service locations like Morimoto's has a quick service location. Deluxe Burger, of course, is always going to be a good choice. But there's just all kinds of places like that. And I will absolutely throw in one of my longtime favorites, which is Wolfgang Puck Express. They put out great food. It is quick service, and it's at a good price, too.
So, speaking of Disney Springs, I saw somebody just today post a picture. They were eating what was called an adult push pop. It was like old like push pops, but it had alcohol.
Yes.
So
yes, that's at Paddlefish right now. Yeah,
I was wondering where it's from.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Ricky, any other thoughts? We're going to Boardwalk.
Oh my gosh.
Never been.
So many places. Okay, so at Boardwalk, you absolutely want to stop at Ample Hills. I'm surprised Mike didn't say it first. To be perfectly honest,
I like food, but yeah, definitely.
Well, I know that, but Ample Hills is where it's at. If you're looking for around that boardwalk area, I would maybe see if you can sit up at the counter at maybe Beaches and Cream, which is not quick service, but it is kind of quick service-y like. So that would be something that I would consider. Moving over to Disney Springs, I'm going to say to maybe do Earl Sandwich, which is a staple. That holiday sandwich is delicious. I've heard nothing but good things about Chicken Guy as well, which is a dumb name.
Yes.
But But I've heard those chicken fingers are really good. The sauces are fantastic, and it's really, really reasonable. So, Chicken Guy, I've heard.
Well, we all talked about it. Now it's not. Who knows?
Yeah. Chicken Guy. Also gonna say, I was thinking of Geisler Point at Wilderness Lodge. I think that that's a good choice as well to kind of get you out somewhere else. Of course, my favorite is Captain Cook's. I do love their nachos at Captain Cook's. They're kind of different nachos. They have it used to be, I think they still have it. It's like a sweet potato chip, a kettle chip, and like a wonton tortilla chip that they put in there, and then they put like cheese and pineapple and pulled pork. It's so good. Oh my gosh. So those are my suggestions. And Mike, I'm sure you have a few as well.
Well, Geyser Point was going to be mine because she's going to the Halloween party, and I think that'd be a great way to you don't want to go into the party hungry. Like, I would go to Geyser Point, get an early dinner, just chill out, enjoy the Wilderness Lodge, catch a boat, boom, go to the Halloween party. You're full because they have good food just in general. It's kind of slow though, so be aware of that. But I mean, because it's a lounge, but it's got great atmosphere. So I'd say that, and I'm just going to.
It has a quick service component too.
Well, it does. I mean,
yeah, point. Yeah.
Since it's outside, I think it makes it slower. Like,
I agree with that.
Not fast. Pete's saying Polite Pig is one of his favorites, and it has a table service kind of feel, he says. And he also says he's a fan of Ale and Compass Marketplace, which is kind of one of the newer options, and it's getting good reviews. People like it. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for all the great questions. Send those into Mike at beourguestpodcast.com. We'll get to those right away, but it's kind of fun going around, all the aspects of Walt Disney World, Central Florida, cruising. We love these kind of questions, so keep sending those our way. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by our friends over at virtualmickey.com, home of great iPhone apps like Theme Park News, Disney Edition, and I bet I just stole Ricky's thunder with what she was going to talk about, but I didn't. All right, Ricky, so what are we reading about on Theme Park?
So, in addition to Sebastian's Bistro opening up, by the way, there's actually a couple of refurbishments that people should be well aware of. Peter Pan's Flight at the Magic Kingdom is going to be closing for refurbishment from January 7th to February 1st.
Marathon weekend. What?
I'm sorry. No Peter Pan's Flight for you. And then the bigger one, you also aren't going to be able to ride during Marathon weekend. And this is going to last for a while, is the Tomorrowland Speedway. That one's going to be closing January 2nd. Huh?
Thank the maker, because if you try to ride that after running a marathon, you're gonna be.
That's what I was going to say. Mike will not be able to stand up.
Mike won't be able to get in there. Yeah. So anyway, that's going to be close.
Get in it. He won't be able to get out.
He won't be able to get out. That's true. That's true.
What's it called? 101. I'd 101 that ride so bad on Sunday night or Monday. Yeah,
he would need help. He would need help. He'd lock up.
He would lock up. We've seen him. But anyway, yeah, so that's going to be closed from the 2nd of January, and then it's going to be closed through May 17th. So as of right now, of course, it's a sort of long refurbishment, so things may change with that reopening date, but this is to accommodate the rerouting of the track for the addition of the Tron coaster that is coming to Tomorrowland at the Magic Kingdom. So when the ride reopens, it's going to reopen as the same ride, just with the adjusted track. So just keep that in mind. 2 attractions in the Magic Kingdom that you're not going to be able to ride this winter/spring kind of.
All right. Well, hey, get news like this. It's free. It's an iOS app. It's going to look great on your iPhone 10. It's Theme Park News Disney Edition over at virtualmickey.com. And again, thanks to everybody who continues to support the show with our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Anytime you get the urge to shop on Amazon, which for me is quite often. I just got some new sneakers today. I'll take a picture of my old ones. There was nothing left on. You guys know how many miles I run a day. There's nothing left on the old ones. So if that happens to you, use the Amazon affiliate link. All right. Don't forget, you can follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at @BeOurGuestPod and at @BeOurGuestMike. And drop by the Facebook group. Lots going on over there. Videos, pictures, conversations every day, all day. It's Facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. All right. We're going to be back again on Friday. We're talking a little if this, then that. Say you can't get you want that ADR for Be Our Guest. It ain't happening. But what can you do to get an experience that's going to be very, very similar, and you can snag that ADR a little bit easier? So that's what we'll be talking about on Friday. So I hope you'll join us for that. But until then, for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Time to head back to work, and we'll see you real soon. All right, let me save this one. Good stuff, Craig. You're like the 4th panelist tonight.
Oh my gosh, so many places to try. Brian and I have already discussed that we want to go to Sebastian's Bistro when we go down there and hopefully at the end of the month. So
That doesn't
Sebastian's
fit.
Bistro, Centertown Market.
They're totally
Now I
taking.
want to try. Now I want to try pumpkin spice beignets at Port Orleans.
Yeah, it's so funny because the ozone can repair itself while the speedway's down. Yeah, that
I like it.
your life. Yeah, I think what they're doing is they took Coronado. Coronado was like so good, and I think Caribbean Beach is trying to like model Coronado, but plus what they had. I like that. It's
Well,
trying to, like,
you know the Pepper Market's.
I know
Pepper
what's
Market's being refurbished.
I don't. It's got
It's,
a
well, I don't know. It
Mercado.
doesn't have the new name technically yet, but it's
El
got a new name,
Mercado.
I think.
El
Oh,
Mercado.
is that it?
Yeah, and remember we started the thing called the Pepper Wall. That's where you get your picture taken over at Coronado.
That's right.
The Pepper Wall.
right.
Go Braves.
Oh, by the way, Craig mentioned Willie's. Yes, Willie's is amazing. So it's I don't know if it's just an Atlanta thing, but it's really good.
Is it Mexican?
Yeah.
We're still back to Mexican. It's been an hour.
Sorry. I know. He
I love-
mentioned Willie's.
I
I
love
was
you.
gonna mention it while we were live, but then that seemed dumb. So
That was a good call.
oh,
All
look
right.
who came back.
Dumb cat. All right. Let's do this. Let's see here. So 1393. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 1393 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Welcome to your weekend. I know it's October and it's a busy time of the year. So don't forget, you can always take the Be Our Guest podcast with you wherever you go. It's easy to listen to. Of course, if you want to listen at home, you can use your, smart speakers. You can just yell, "Hey, yoo-hoo, play the Be Our Guest podcast on TuneIn," and boom. All of a sudden,
Yoo-hoo!
no, I'm saying, we got one like
Play the Be Our Guest podcast.
I don't want to have a conversation with her right now, but there's lots of ways you can talk to the smart speakers. But hey, take us on the road. Like I'm going to Tuscaloosa. I'm on my way to Alabama, folks. So if you're headed down to Bryant-Denny Stadium this weekend, I know it holds like half the state of Alabama for the Mizzou, Alabama. You know what? I'm going to be there for the greatest upset in college football history when Mizzou takes.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be the one that's upset. Yes.
on Saturday night at Bryant-Denny. I've got my Missouri flag. I've already purchased down in St. Charles at the old.
You're gonna be the one that's upset.
store.
Yeah.
I got that. I've already told Pam, if in the fourth quarter for some reason Mizzou has a lead, it's not going to happen. And my seats are like way high. I mean, but I'd have to kind of like jump like 150 feet. But if we have the lead at the end of the game, I will be arrested because I'll be out on that A doing like snow angels, in my Mizzou jersey. So just watch for me on the news Saturday night. If it's not going to happen, we're going to lose 78-2. It's going to be ugly. But anyway,
I may be doing the podcast by myself next week, so
Monday comes quick.
send your listener questions to me.
I'll be in Tuscaloosa County Jail or City Jail. But anyway, it ain't gonna happen. So don't worry. I'll be here on Monday. I promise you. But if you're at the game, send me a shout out on social media. We'll say hi. So anyway, let's get to today's topic. We're talking if this, then that, Walt Disney World restaurant style. To do that, Ricky is joining me from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less Roll Tide MIZ. What's going on, Ricky?
Well, hopefully I'm not getting arrested this weekend. So that's
Just it happens. We heard it.
well, they stopped filming live PD in my county, so I can rest a little bit easier now.
Because we used to watch it and Mallory would come in and be like, "Have you seen Ricky yet?" I'm like, "No, she needs to put a shirt on and get out there and speed."
So yeah, they stopped filming my county, so I feel a lot better right now. But
You don't have to worry about not having a license or not having a registered car, which apparently 95% of the America does. It just seems to always come up.
I guess, yeah. Nobody has a license and nobody has a registration. I thought that was something.
But they thought it was cool to drive, so
they did. And Brian will be wearing a shirt, so.
I love live PD. All right. Also joining us, she is getting ready to hit the road today.
So jealous.
Adventure Pam Forrester from the Magic for Less Travel. Actually,
can't wait to hear about this.
Just from Disney destinations over the next 2 weeks. What's up, Pam? How's it going?
I know, right? I'm staying in all 3 Disneyland hotels and also Alani over the next couple weeks. So we're doing it right, I guess. I'm living my best life, as the kids say. So anyways, Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm, looking forward to getting out to Disneyland again. I don't get to go there quite as often as I do Walt Disney World, so it's always good to go back to the original park and see how it all happened. So
Ulu welcomes you. He's very excited to see you. So in Hawaii.
In Hawaii.
Yes. For nobody, you have to be watching to be able to see Ulu waves hello. So yeah.
Ulu is Lonnie mascot or something, I'm guessing.
He is the Duffy of Alani. So, and a big thank you to Florence for getting me Ulu because I wanted him because he was adorable. And I don't really collect the Duffy stuff, but who couldn't resist a cute little turtle? I mean, he's adorable.
He is. I like him.
I'm looking forward to seeing some Menahuni. So
yes.
Okay, so real quick, Pam, how can people? Because I know you're gonna be on vacation, just kind of having fun with extended family and so forth. But I'm sure you'll be posting some stuff to social media. So if people want to know the adventure, where can they do that?
So on Facebook, you can find me. Just search for Pam Forrester. I think I'm typically I got in so early that I'm Pam Forrester 1. I think I wasn't the only Pam Forrester, but I'm Pam Forrester 1. And then I'll also post some on Instagram, which I believe TMFLT Pam. So Twitter, I don't do Twitter as often, I will say, but probably if it goes up on Instagram, it's going on to Twitter too.
This is probably true. Yes.
So there's that, but I don't know, the 140 characters. I know you can do more now, but
it's like 270 now, right? Yeah, I think it's 270.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's get into today's topic. Let's have some fun before Pam hits the road. And of course, we love talking about Walt Disney World and we love talking about dining. So we're bringing those two things together today. And the situation is this, you may be aware that now they have something called, oh, my phone's going to go off, SIRI shortcuts with the new iOS 12, which means you can make certain things happen because if this condition is met, then this will happen. If you dive into your iPhone or your Apple device, you can kind of find out about that. But anyway, before that, there was something called if this, then that, which is basically like I said, an if and a then condition. And I thought we did this way back in 2015. It's episode 850 with kind of Walt Disney World planning in general. But I wanted to narrow it down to the Walt Disney World restaurants, because I know a lot of us, when we get ready to plan a Walt Disney World vacation, one of the first things we think about after our resort, and for some of you guys before your resort, we're worried about ADRs because Disney's trained us 6 months in advance is the perfect time to plan where you're going to have dinner. And that's what we do. We're good Disney fans. We do what they tell us and we plan a perfect vacation. So sometimes, and this happens sometimes, even at 6 months out, we go like good little kiddies at 7 a.m. Eastern time. We get on the app. Sometimes we have an iPad, iPhone. We have our computer. We have a phone. I mean, we're just like, it's mission control. We've all been there, right? And you're like, we're going to all eat at Be Our Guest restaurant, the 12 of us. It's going to be awesome. You get on there, boom, there's no ADRs for that day. What? Okay, so you can't make a reservation there for a specific day. All is not lost. Pam Forrester has said this many times. She is wise. That your vacation will not be ruined by not getting that perfect ADR, even though it seems like it. And some message boards will tell you that is the case. All has been lost 6 months before you've ever stepped foot into a Disney onto property. Mm-hmm. It's not lost. So today, what we're going to do, we're just going to have some fun like we do on Fridays, and we're going to get your feedback on Facebook, facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. If you can't get a particular restaurant, what is something that is similar that will fit the bill as close as possible? So how we're going to do this is one of us is going to throw out a restaurant. The other two are going to have to come up with something that fits the bill as closely as possible that you could probably get in lieu of that original reservation. So let's start off with what I just said. Be Our Guest. Of course, themed restaurant, table service at night in the Magic Kingdom, story of Belle and the Beast. It's very themed. A lot of people want to eat here. It's one of the hardest to get ADRs right now at Walt Disney World. So if you can't get that one, Ricky, where could you go to get a similar dining experience that's going to be an easier to get ADR, which anything will be easier than Be Our Guest, I think, at this point.
Maybe not. I don't know. So I am actually going to go with Akershus at Epcot, because you are actually going to get to see princesses, which you do not get to see at Be Our Guest. At Be Our Guest, you get to see the Beast, which I know that unfortunately, that's the only place you get to see the beast. But with Akershus, you at least get to dine with the princesses, and I believe Belle's there. I hope she is. So I actually haven't eaten at Akershus before, so I need to probably do that. But I think that's probably a good option for those who are looking for kind of a princessy kind of feel.
I like that. I've been to Akershus many, many times. Belle, the last time I was there, Belle, like you met her and got a picture with her before you actually went in.
Okay, there we go.
Like a pre-show little thing, got a little picture with Belle, then you got to go back in and eat, and all the princesses came around. I think it was about 5 princesses in total. I like that. So Pam, what do you say? Can't get Be Our Guest. What's your contingency? Alan says always have a contingency. Amen.
Yep.
That's right.
You need it. That's right. So I'm going to say that if you can't get Be Our Guest, why not try 1900 Park Fair? For a few reasons. First of all, it's located near the Magic Kingdom, so you'll still be able to take a monorail ride over to 1900 Park Fair, located at the Grand Floridian. It is a true character meal experience in that you'll be able to see Cinderella and also her evil stepsisters, which are awesome. And just a unique character experience. It still has good food. I think that 1900 Park Fair, in terms of food quality and different items being available, has a really good buffet in that space. And then you'll be able to take the monorail right back to the Magic Kingdom and enjoy the rest of your evening there. So you'll be able to experience that.
That's right. Okay. And Jennifer backs you up. 1900 Park Fair is what she says is a good alternative to Be Our Guest. All right. So if you can't be our guest, you got 2 good options in Akershus or 1900 Park Fair at Disney's Grand Floridian. All right, Ricky, give us a restaurant that's kind of tough to get, and Pam and I'll see what we can come up with.
Well, so I'm actually going to go with say you can't get a reservation for Pam's favorite, Homecoming. So we all know Homecoming has been super popular lately. I mean, we keep talking it up, so people keep going there. For example, say you can't get that Homecoming delicious food. Where are you gonna go? So
we're looking kind of fancy, greasy spoon, like stuff.
Yes.
Artery cloggers. Okay, let me think. Okay, go ahead, Pam.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna go Pam first.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, why not head over to Port Orleans Riverside and go to Boatwright's because you'll still be able to get like ribs. I believe they have a fried chicken dish as well there. They have cornbread that comes to the table. Hello, cornbread. But they have some like stick to your ribs kind of food. I think, they have shrimp and grits. They have stuff like that. It's like a Southern cuisine sort of style. And you could maybe see Yeehaw Bob too, if you hit that right. So there's still going to be a little nightlife for you to enjoy too. And we've had some decent meals at Boatwright's. I think it's an interesting venue and has some great choices.
Boatwright's is definitely a hidden gem. If you haven't been there lately,
as long as you can get the reservation, right?
they are one of those restaurants that are huge, and they absolutely cap the number of reservations that they allow to have in there. Because you're like, can I go sit down? And half the restaurant's empty, and they're like, nope.
It kind of makes you feel like Elvis, like you have the place to yourself.
Right? Yeah, you can.
That's how I think about it. Craig came up with the first thing that crossed my mind was Trails Inn because it's that kind of homey food, down the kind of southern stuff. That's a buffet, though. It's going to save you some money if you go to Trails Inn, that you can eat all you want. But I like that. I was also thinking in the general area of Homecoming, the Boathouse. Now, the Boathouse is, it's if you want a good burger or something, of course, it's not the exact same kind of food, but it's going to be, you're not rolling out of the Boathouse with any kind of hunger pains at all. You're going to be stuffed. You're going to have great food in that same location. And it's just something to think about because I think a lot of people discount the Boathouse, but I know it is very, very good. All right, Pam, so give us a restaurant that may be a little tough to get, and Ricky and I'll try to come up with some alternatives.
Okay, so I'm taking us away from table service for a moment to talk about something else. So you're in the Magic Kingdom. Pecos Bill has a line outside the door. Like, you are no way standing in this line. And we've all seen that happen. Where are you going to go, Ricky?
Oh my gosh, this is hard because Pecos Bills is so good at waiting in the stupid line.
I pay somebody to just jump them in line. I want my
Right? I mean, absolutely. Okay. So if I can't get Pecos Bills, I think I'm gonna go with I mean, if you're looking for fixins, I'm gonna go with Cosmic Rays. You have a lot of choices at Cosmic Rays. The menu is pretty varied over there. They always have kind of a secret menu option as well. So there's that, and you can really choose something for the whole family because, like I said, their menu is vast and huge, and it's not the same type of food, obviously, because there's not that Tex-Mexy style food anywhere else at the Magic Kingdom. But I think that that's going to be at least an option that will satisfy the family. Plus, it's got an all-you-can-eat toppings bar, just like Pecos Bill does.
That's a good choice. All right, Mike.
See, the thing about Pecos Bills, I'm assuming like you want to stay counter service Magic Kingdom because you don't want to go too far,
right?
Replace it.
Yeah.
Thing about Pecos Bills is it's really filled a niche in the last couple of years with that Tex-Mex. I'm not the only one that likes Mexican food a lot. Americans love that stuff, and so I think that it's really hard to come up with a plan B for Pecos Bills because you're not going to find anything similar to Mexican that I can think of in the Magic Kingdom. So I like your comparison there, Ricky, that Cosmic Rays has the fixins bar, as does Pecos Bills. I would say, man, for me, because if we're going counter service to counter service, I just go to Columbia Harbor House. Totally different, but I mean, it's high quality counter service, but that one's always crowded too. But that's what I would do. It's not a very good answer because it's really hard to kind of match the cuisines because there's not anything else like it. But Columbia Harbor,
that's the tough thing. And that's what makes Pecos Bills so good is that it is such a unique option. Unlike anything else that's at the Magic Kingdom, which is why it's so popular because seriously, it's super unique, but also very delicious.
And Craig's offering up Jennifer's offering up Skipper Canteen, again, table service, but exotic and not super exotic, but I mean, different than your theme park food typically, but good call there. All right. So I'm back up. I'm going to throw out, and this is one that you can usually get. It's not a hard ADR, but I just want to throw it out there for, to be kind of devil's advocate here. Say you want a really good steak meal say you wanted to go to Le Cellier. Okay. You wanted to go to Le Cellier, can't get in. That was the case, say 2-3 years ago. That was kind of one of the common situations. Not so much anymore now that it's a signature restaurant, but you want to go to Le Cellier, you're blocked out. Where are you going to have that meal, Pam? That's something.
I am going to Yachtsman.
I knew you were going to Yachtsman.
And I think I'll have a better experience, actually.
Absolutely.
So for a few reasons. First of all, Yachtsman is just a walk outside of the International Gateway from Epcot. So even if you're planning on spending the evening at Epcot, you can still just walk right outside the International Gateway, walk over to the Yacht Club and have your meal there. So it's really still within striking distance of Epcot. In addition, I think that Yachtsman just as far as steak goes, it's a good steak option on property. We've always had great service there. They have things besides steak. They always have a seafood option. They have great appetizers. They have good desserts if you ever make it that far. I don't know how you're going to because they also have the best rolls in the world with those onion rolls. And they also have usually they bring a different kind of bread as well. So, and they have roasted garlic that you can spread all over it. It's so good. So anyways, lots of great reasons to choose Yachtsman, but yes.
All right, Ricky. So La Hacienda, what I said was the one I think.
You said Le Cellier.
Oh, yeah. What you're looking for. Yachtsman off the board. What's another option?
Well, I'm going with Liberty Inn. No, I'm just joking because they do have a steak. And if we've had this discussion, if you're getting the steak, you're making a terrible life choice. Do not get the steak at Liberty Inn.
What about the ABC commissary? I think they have a steak.
Same with ABC commissary. Don't get a counter service steak. I feel like I need to put that on a shirt.
That's not going to be freaking magical. If you
That's not freaking magical.
Yes. Putting on a shirt lately, so go ahead.
No, so I'm gonna go. I actually have two choices. They are not nearby necessarily, but they are at Disney Springs. I'm gonna go with the Boathouse first because I know that the Boathouse is known for having delicious steaks. But if you really want a steak like the steak experience, I'm going to suggest STK Orlando, which is really actually very close to the Boathouse as well. But obviously STK, the name stands for steak. So they are going to have some of the best steaks probably that you can get. So it's not a place that a lot of people go to, obviously. So it'll be very easy to get in. But yeah, I think STK is going to be a great option if you're looking for a good steak dinner.
All right, and Craig in the chat gave us Coral Reef. He said actually great steak there last time they were there. Coral Reef, I think, is a hidden, like, it's not
to get back
popular.
there.
It's not like it's, I don't think it's outstanding, but I think it's trending slightly in the right direction from what I hear from people. I haven't been there in years. I loved it when I went there, but it was years ago, just because I felt like I was like in a 70s or 80s sitcom. What was the one where the person was in the tank?
Yes, it was a Boy Meets World, and I think Full House did things there. So
I like that kind of stuff, so that's why I ate there, and I loved it. I mean, the food was fine, and the tanks, you know, entertaining. You're eating fish while you're watching fish. That's kind of weird, but you know, so that's an option. And also Jennifer said Shula's, which I've heard really good things, but never been there. But anyway.
Oh yeah, I have heard excellent things about Shula's. I always forget about the Dolphin and the Swan for restaurants. I always forget about them. But Shula's I've heard excellent things about for sure.
Oh, and Alan throws in that Rose and Crown now has a New York strip back on the menu. So he says that's right across the way. All right. So Ricky, give us another restaurant that might be tough, and Pam and I'll see what we can help you with.
Well, that was actually going to be my choice, was Rose and Crown. So that's kind of funny that was posted. So we all know Rose and Crown is super, you know, the fried fish and the chips and the shepherd's pie, just delicious food. So if you can't get in, and we all know how hard it can be to get into Rose and Crown, especially closer to that Illuminations time period, may it ruin. So are you guys going to make your reservation? Mike, I'm so time.
All right, you're breaking up.
I guess you don't need to make a reservation. So yeah, where are you going?
Okay, so let me think. You're breaking up a little bit, but I think I got you. So Rose and Crown on. Okay, so let me think. Something similar. So, wow, that's a tough one. So I'm thinking something in World Showcase maybe, because that's why you're there. Kind of the same experience. Looking for something a little ethnic, a little bit different than the American fare. I would go, you know, if I couldn't get Rose and Crown, I might go back to where do we eat on 4th of July? Le Chefs de France? Was that it?
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Now I was always scared away from this place because I thought it was going to be like only like escargot and stuff that would be too fancy. I had a good stay. It was ironic really that we for the first thing is we ate it Le Chefs de France on Independence Day, which was kind of weird, you know, not really celebrating America there by eating in France, but we did. And I had a great steak and potatoes. I mean, you know, think about the all-American meal, steak and potatoes. That's what I had. And it was excellent with a great dessert as well. So, you know, I would say go back there because it gives you some, you know, different flair, kind of a different feel. Very nice restaurant. I'm going Le Chefs de France. Pam, what about that was in French. Pam.
We. So if I can't get Rose and Crown, I think I'm going to go ahead and try La Hacienda. And the reason why is, like Rose and Crown, La Hacienda has great views of the lagoon. And in addition, you can see illuminations from there too. And if that was kind of your goal, although the food type is completely different, you're talking some UK food versus some Tex-Mex or more authentic. I think La Hacienda is a little more authentic than Tex-Mex, but some options there. But we've watched illuminations from there a couple times and really had a great view. And I always remember Mike saying, like, you can't ever see what's on that globe with illuminations. And you're right, you can't. But for some reason, when you're at La Hacienda, you kind of do get a decent view of it. It seems further away, but it's really not that bad. It kind of moves out into that, and you kind of do get to see a little more of that globe. So we actually like it. Now, you cannot be guaranteed a seat of illumination. So make sure you take that into consideration when you think about that choice.
And Craig has really the best answer of all, I think.
Yeah, he does.
Thinking Raglan Road is an alternative to Rose and Crown. Same type atmosphere, same type food. That's the one. That's
the one.
Yes. Good call. God, I'm glad Craig's here tonight. He's paying attention. Star for Craig. Give us a restaurant, Pam, and we'll see what we come up with.
So let's say that you want to have a really nice night out and you want to eat at one of my favorite locations, California Grill, and you cannot get a spot. Where are you going? And Mike, I'll throw it to you first.
So here's my thing. I haven't done a lot of the fancy restaurants. Like I've never done California Grill, but just because my wife doesn't tend to like the fancier type restaurants. We're more of just the down the middle, which is kind of nice on my wallet, which I never complain about. And I never push this because it would just cost me more money, even though I like to have experiences like this. I would say something like, if you can't get California Grill, and again, I haven't done these restaurants, but I'm just thinking from what I've heard from friends and other folks, maybe a Citrico's or a Narcoossee's, because you're right there in the Magic Kingdom Resort area, fancy dining at both. And I think the dining at all three of those locations is just as much about the experience as it is the food, while the food is great. But if I had to pick something that I've personally been to, I would go to Jiko, because that, again, is an experience at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Very high quality food, a little bit different. And it's definitely kind of the date night feel when you go there. It's not just dinner. It's an experience. It's a night out with your significant other. So I go Jiko, but if I had to go with anything, I'd say Citrico's or Narcoossee's over at the Grand Floridian. So what do you say, Ricky? What do you got?
Well, I hate that you stole mine. So I hate you so much. I am going to, it's not in the area, obviously. It's in a theme park, but I'm going to go with Tiffin's. I have dined there before. I think that it's a very elegant experience for the theme park. I think the food is very different. Obviously, you're not going to get sushi there. If you're looking for sushi, head over to the Polynesian for Kona. But if you're looking for kind of that elegant style meal, I think Tiffin's has a lot for guests. Plus, then you can take advantage of their Rivers of Light dining package, and that means you get to get 2 for 1. So you get a show. You get the show. See, you get the show like you would get at California Grill with the fireworks. You just get a different type of show. I win. I totally had that in my mind when I was coming up with it.
You win, except for the fact that you got to watch Rivers of Light. Oh
no, I actually like Rivers of Light. So, I know. I'm one of the weirdos that likes it, so it's fine.
I'm just joking. All right, so and Craig says Victoria and Albert's minus the attire.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if you really want to go all in, I mean, there you go. They won't let
going all in
to that place. Yeah. I just walked past it one time in April. I'm like, beep, 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 beep. Boy. Have enough glass. All right, so Ricky, did you give your second restaurant?
I have given my second one.
Okay, so it's my turn again. Okay, so here we go. I think this is an interesting one. Say you, and this is not one that's hard to get into, but say you wanted to get into Via Napoli. You want some pie. You want some pizza. You can't get in. What's your alternative? If this Via Napoli is unavailable, then what? What are you going to do, Pam? Going for some pie.
Oh, man, because I find Disney World to not be the best place to get pizza in general, except for Via Napoli. I do like that style of pizza. I'm going to go ahead and say, let's head over to Trattoria Al Forno, because they not only have the pizza window now, but they also have, you can get pizza inside the restaurant. They have a few different things from which to choose. And it's a decent option. I don't think it's a Via Napoli style pizza or have that kind of thing. But if I'm looking for pizza, that might be the location that I would go ahead and choose.
And I will say over at at Trattoria Al Forno that they still have, and Scott has confirmed this, they still have, because we had this over Marathon Weekend a couple of years ago, maybe last year, a couple of years ago, I can't remember, but we went to Trattoria Al Forno 2 of the 4 mornings, and they have it's kind of like a hot pocket, but it's it's like a pizza hot pocket. That thing
breakfast calzone.
Yes, that's what it is. It is so good. That thing is so stinking good. I mean, that thing is that's worth living. So I'm just saying, if you go there, get that for breakfast. All right, Ricky, so what do you say? You're looking for some pie? Where are you going?
I think Craig and I are on the same wavelength because he's suggesting Blaze Pizza, and I was going to suggest Blaze Pizza. And yes, we do have a Blaze Pizza in Atlanta now, and I go there quite frequently. So, Blaze Pizza is a great option. It's kind of like the Chipotle of pizza places where you can make your pie however you want it to be, or they have specialty pies that you can choose from, but it's that thin paper crust. They put it in the oven, kind of like they do at Via Napoli. And I think that it's a great option. And by the way, it is very reasonable for a pizza at Blaze. So 100% think that Blaze is going to be the best option if you can't get into Via Napoli, because it's way cheaper and it's good pizza, all things considered. But I'm like Pam, most of the pizza at Disney is not very good. So that's, I mean, gosh, that's why they're making Pizza Rizzo seasonal apparently. So they can't get anybody in there.
Pizza Rizzo was the worst pizza of anywhere on property, I think. It was just
still liked it. I don't hate it, but again, I apparently have poor taste. So
I mean, it wasn't like it was bad, but it was just like, it was like something you get served in like a food cafeteria or something. There was just not to it.
It wasn't high quality pizza, that's for sure. No.
You know what? I loved the feel of Pizza Rizzo.
Like Pizza Rizzo, yes.
Wedding reception. It was so weird.
Yeah. It's so awesome. I love it. The feel of Pizza Rizzo is fantastic. They just need better food. And I think that probably once Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge opens, they'll probably, have that open more. But if they would just put in better pizza, that place would do so much better. I don't know why they thought, hey, you know what? Let's put in the same awful pizza that we served at Pizza Planet. Let's just keep that rolling. That's fine. That's absolutely perfect. So.
Here's what I'll say though about Pizza Rizzo real quick. I think that 10 years ago, I mean, this goes back a decade or more, they totally dropped the ball by not having Pizza Planet be an arcade, like just like
absolutely.
Like, I mean, it was such a no-brainer. I mean, you could, because if you made that like the arcade from Toy Story, you could get away with cheap, stinky pizza, and that place would have been just crazy popular. I mean, come on.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what they did. They just, I mean, it wasn't the same Pizza Planet that was in the movie, but yeah, I mean, that's what,
like, it needed to be to the level of like Be Our Guest is to Beauty and the Beast. Like,
yes, exactly. I bet you money that they made all kinds of money on those video games that they had at Pizza Planet, and that made up for the fact that their pizza was awful. So like people didn't really care as much, meaning like Disney was still getting their money. So, they were seeing returns on Pizza Planet and being like, hey, this place makes money. Let's continue to serve the awful pizza that we have because people will come here. See, ta-da, look at all the money we made. And it was all from the video games. I suspect that's what happened.
Oh man. I mean, it was just, there's a few things that I've always thought that like, this had to have been discussed 100 times. Like there's no way they did not think that, you know what, look at this. Like, this is a no brainer. This could be a gold mine. Like, I just want to know, like, that's where I just want to ask people, like, why didn't it happen? Because it had, like, they went like 25% of the way there with Pizza Planet, or what was it called? Pizza Planet?
Rizzo.
No,
Pizza
before
Rizzo.
that.
Oh,
Pizza Planet. Yeah.
They went like a quarter of the way there. But like you're Disney, go all in like you did on Be Our Guest and some of these other restaurants. Oh, you'd have had a gold mine. But anyway, and Blaze, what's the other place in Disney Springs though that we're not talking about? The new pizza place. There's a quick pizza place. What's its name? I can't remember.
Oh gosh, I'm blanking. Oh no, but I was just thinking of Blaze.
Blaze is
no.
Pizza Ponte. That's it.
Ponte.
That's
okay.
it.
Oh yeah. That
See,
style is actually more like
that style is more like
yeah. I mean, they do have a thicker pizza as well, but they do have Naples style pizza, so that may be more like it.
Cool.
But I think it's really expensive for the slice of pizza. So I mean, I don't know. I think Blaze is still your better option. But if you're looking for more that same style of pizza, then Pizza Ponte is going to be where you go.
We now have a Blaze Pizza in St. Charles, like 10 minutes from my house, but a small drive. It's awesome. All right, so Pam, we got two more. Pam's up next, then Ricky, then we're letting you loose for the weekend. Give us one, Pam.
Okay, so you are looking for seafood and have Flying Fish reserved. Or not reserved. Sorry. You're looking to dine at Flying Fish, but you can't get it. So you're looking for sort of an upscale seafood option. Where are you going, Ricky?
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the Boathouse, hands down. I think that that's the right option. Just the menu is so vast and varied, and they have so much seafood on it. They have oysters, they have, crab. I mean, they have everything. So, if you are shrimp, if you're looking for seafood, 100% that's where you're gonna go. I think and it's good. You're getting good seafood there.
It's a good choice.
See,
Michael,
I don't get to go to seafood places ever.
that's true. You don't.
It's all
You're
included.
not.
I never get. Then you're killing me. So you have coral reef again. That's an option. Not as high quality, obviously, as flying fish. Trying to think around the resorts. I'm trying to think of like a resort option that has good seafood. I don't know, Pam. What about, does California Grill have good seafood?
They do, but you know where I might send you is Narcoossee's.
See,
That's true.
Tell us about those given options.
Narcoosse's has some great options. In fact, one of the things that they're famous for and they've had on their menu for a long time is their surf and turf. But they always have other seafood options. They usually have a whitefish and a tuna option and things like that. But yeah, their surf and turf, it is the butter poached lobster. They do it well there. So consider that one, or choose from one of the many other seafood options. And the great thing about Narcoosse's as well is you have that view of the castle and of the fireworks too. So Narcoosse's could sub in for a couple of those things. Oh, and if you have room for dessert, almond cheesecake, boom, you're living life right there.
So, sorry if you're listening to this
While you're waiting for dinner like we are. Yes.
I so apologize. Go through McDonald's and get a meal.
No,
all right. So,
why does he name all the awful places to eat? He's Taco Bell, McDonald's. There are lots better choices.
But everybody's on their way to work right now. It's Friday morning.
You can go lots of other places in the morning.
It's on your way. All right. So Ricky, close us out. Give us the situation. Pam and I'll wrap it up, and then we'll get out of here.
McDonald's. No. So, we've all talked about this. This is seriously one of the hardest places to get that reservation. We talked about it on Wednesday's show, but I'm going with Ohana. I mean, let's be honest. People fight to get this reservation so much. It is such a unique option at Walt Disney World. Hopefully maybe Disney will introduce like a Brazilian option so that it takes some of the pressure off of Ohana and the all-you-can-eat meat. But right now we don't have that option. So, Pam, where are you going?
So I was trying to think of some place you could go and still get like the meat sweats.
Yes, I know, right?
So, where I'm going to have you go? How about Beer Garden? You get lots of
meat sweats.
It's great. There's all kinds of different meats. It's like has sort of an ethnic twist, right? It's not like your traditional like steak or burgers or things like that. You get all kinds of wursts, if you will. And they have lots of unique side dishes too. And it's an all-you-can-eat kind of place. And it's kind of loud and rowdy like Ohana. So I think you can sub that in. Be like, so tonight we are not having an Asian themed meat-based dinner. We're having a German-based. And plus they both have sausages. Right?
That's true. That's true.
That is the perfect. That's the perfect.
Nobody thinks about Beer Garden, but you're right. If you're really looking for the meat sweats, Beer Garden is the right answer for that question. If you can't get Ohana, yes, I think that's perfect.
See?
Beer Garden is so good. Beer Garden is so good. I love Beer Garden.
You got to go when it's cold, though. It's not someplace you can go in the summer.
I mean, Ohana or Beer Garden on a July night, you're dead either way when you walk out of there. I mean, it's just you got the meat sweats. You're
at least at Ohana, you're getting a salad and some noodles.
That's true. Yeah, you can get like cold salads, like potato salad and macaroni salad,
lots of sauerkraut.
Yes, all the sauerkraut you can eat.
That was the perfect option. Hey, is it worth? I mean, does this not make enough sense that Epcot should put Brazil in World Showcase just for a Brazilian?
Oh, 100%. Yes.
They would sell out that restaurant every stupid night. I'm telling you. Brazilian food. Yes.
Meat what's that place called? Toscanos? Just throw that in.
Yeah, Toscanos. Yes. You don't even have to create your own. Just put in that chain. It's fine.
It's the place because I love it. We have one here in St. Charles, and it's
Yes.
got the little thing. It's got the red and the green
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
If you keep it green and keep bringing the meat, man. It's like finally.
That's right.
In and
They should probably put those on the tables at Ohana. They don't have those, do they? They should really put those on the table. That would make life so much easier for Disney, probably.
They should.
Yeah.
So, real quick, even though Pam's got the best answer, it's over. But I would say teppanyito in Japan. You can get a good steak. It's prepared there in front of you. You know, you kind of like I always leave there. I don't know if it's. I think it's more the sodium that gets me there. Like,
well, yes, that's true. That's the sodium sweats.
That's it. That's necessarily, but there's a sweat when you leave a Japanese hibachi place, and I'm always dying when I leave teppanyito, and I think it's the sodium killing me. I don't know if it's just the protein, but I don't know. But that's kind of on the same thing. So, what do we think? Kind of fun alternative options for dining. I think we did all right today.
I think so.
I think so too. We came up with some good subs, so for sure.
That's absolutely true.
All
and
right.
maybe not so good subs, but yes, we came up with something.
So over the weekend, drop by the Facebook group, facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. We'll throw up some of these situations right there on the Facebook page, and you can give your thoughts. What would be a good alternative to this? You guys can throw your own up there, and we'll just have a conversation over the weekend. But it's fun to plan ADRs, and, you know, not all is lost when you can't get the perfect ADR, because really there is no perfect ADR. There's lots of new experiences out there for you. So don't forget, today's episode brought to you by the great folks over at the Magic for Less Travel. Like I said at the top of the show, so much happening right now. You got the early, get this, 2020 Disney Cruise Line sailings. That's crazy to think about 2020, but right now, put down that deposit, get the best staterooms at the best prices with Disney Cruise Line, sailing out of what I like to say, Nollins. When I call into Disney Cruise Line over the past week, I say, oh yeah, that's a sailing out of Nollins. They say New Orleans.
And Disney Cruise Line hates you.
Well,
yes,
I
Disney
know.
Cruise Line hates you right now.
They know me when I call in, and they're like, "Oh man, it's Mike."
Oh no, that's that Mike guy again. Yeah,
that's exactly what they say. But you know what? You get a great onboard credit, the best prices out there. You know, Panama Canal. That's a great sailing, and it's actually I've helped some people get this cruise for the length of that cruise and for the stuff you get to see. It's still a great deal. Here's what I want to say real quick about Disney Cruise Line. It's a premium cruise line, right? You're getting a great. One of the best cruise lines on the sea. You're getting the Disney name. But here's what I want to think of. You know, you got to think about it this way when you're thinking about planning a Disney cruise. Think about a Walt Disney World vacation at a deluxe resort with the deluxe dining plan. That's kind of what I kind of think of, because, you know, you're getting great dining, some awesome dining. You're getting a deluxe accommodation on a beautiful ship. But more than that, you're going amazing places and getting cultural experiences. You're getting things you're getting the shows, you're getting it's just that's the way I kind of think about it. Think about a deluxe hotel, deluxe dining plan, but you're getting even more than that with Disney Cruise Line. So just drop by themagicforless.com today, fill out that free no obligation quote, see about taking a cruise in 2020. Great time to get that, you know. And here's the thing about that too, no risk, because put down the deposit. If it doesn't work out, you still have to your final payment date to cancel and get that deposit back. So lock into that great rate now. I'm just telling you, I just wanted to get a great vacation at a great price, and you can do that over at the Magic for Less Travel. Thanks again to everybody who supports the show with our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. We really do appreciate that. So it takes 1 or 2 extra seconds, but it really does help support what we do. So again, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon, and give us a follow on the social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at beourguestpod and at beourguestmike. And of course, the Facebook page is there, facebook.com/beourguestpodcast. It's all convoluted, whatever.
One of those things.
Wherever.
We're sending you out to the West Coast, Alani and Disneyland. So you have safe travels and have a great time. We can't wait.
Yes.
Thank you.
So much fun.
So looking forward to it. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram and kind of a little Twitter.
All right. All right. So for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Whatever you do, stay safe. MIZ, roll tide. See you down in T-Town, and we'll see you real soon. I'm so excited to go to Bama. Oh, I can't wait. Anyway, that's gonna be so fun. We're gonna get so smoked. It's so smoked. EPI. Okay, so
pretty much.
Well, Pam, I am off to Taco Bell. You're off to California. So
awesome.
I think Pam is winning.
I think I'm winning. So. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
By a little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have fun,
All
guys.
right.
Popcorn
Okay.
Later.
All right. See y'all.
All right. Bye, Pam.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.